Hey, welcome back, guys. Hi, everyone. Nora, thanks for being here, love. All right, so I am all caught up with all of my family visits. We are back to life as normal. All of the family that I am connected to, I have had time to spend with now, and so life has kind of like gone back to normal. So, really nice to see you guys. I have missed you. All weekend, we'll get back into the swing of things. So it's awesome to be back. But we have got the King of Wands to start this out. Now, this is a collective message. Obviously, we get the swirling galaxy behind him, right? King of Wands can be somebody very loving, but I'm going to say he's actually being pushed by the divine, and maybe he trusts the divine. It's like, look, I don't know why things are going the way they are, but I don't fight it. I trust that it will be revealed to me. The path ahead, I must be doing this for a reason, even if it doesn't make sense. Why is my heart telling me to do this, or why am I going to this place? It feels like a divine masculine, at least in this deck. Hi, everyone. So great to see you, everybody. I missed you too, you guys. But it feels like he's totally content, even though there's a great mystery, right? He stands in front of the pyramid. He's being kind of like spit out by the universe right into this place, this here, this now. And we got that Six of Cups, which is, a soulmate card. So either we have a Leo, Sag, or Aries, or just someone very connected to their internal, heart space, who knows, I'm going to follow my heart. If I feel like I need to go somewhere, and I do get this vibe that he may be finding this urge to like travel somewhere, go somewhere, possibly someplace into a countryside. You notice this is very much like neighborhood energy. Anytime you see like little kids selling their lemonade, you get this feeling of like comfortable, safe communities, neighbors that know each other, that community vibe where it's like all the neighbors know to look out for each other, and it just feels like if he has this urge, he looks more like citified. He looks a little bit more like he could, work in like a business industry or something. But if he is suddenly having this urge to leave a bigger city and go someplace, maybe take a mini vacation or something and go somewhere that is much more like calm and, like I say, country related. I mean, maybe he's going back home for a visit, or maybe he's choosing to suddenly travel. But there's definitely a travel energy on that. Rory, thank you so much. Oh my God, you were so generous. Thank you, my love. Thank you for that beautiful donation. We have got a King of Cups. Also at the end of this, you guys, I will make an announcement about some stuff upcoming on Monday. So you want to stick around and hear that at the end. But we've got a King of Cups here also. And this is a feminine on the King of Cups. Now, this is all about emotion. But you do notice that we have the heart on fire there as well. So, which is very unusual. We wouldn't normally necessarily see, I can think of only one other deck where a King of Cups is like, holding their heart or showing their heart that blatantly, right? Because the King of Wands, really fiery and heart centered, but now we have a heart on fire here for our King of Cups as well. And it's a feminine's outline. So if he's drawn somewhere, wants to travel somewhere, or is just trusting his instinct that I think I should be somewhere at a certain time and place, I would agree with him. You should be. There's a reason for you to go there. She's going to be there. There's a soulmate going to be there. You need to go get some lemonade, sir. We got a Six of Swords that is sideways. This is a card of both people moving on. And I say that because it's sideways. So it's shared energy. If he's able to move on into calmer waters, if this is like proof perhaps that both of these characters are more healed and are finally letting go of past relationships, past situations, past hurts. I mean, maybe this is two people who are no longer upset with one another. It doesn't have to mean that they are going to be new to each other, but they are kindred souls. To me, I get a vibe that this is two new individuals, at least new in this lifetime. They may have known each other in a past life. Ooh, okay, so hang on. So both of them are healing, or this is proof that they have healed or that they have moved on from someone that treated them abominably, but they both had poor treatment from someone. And this is no wonder the universe is playing a role in this, because with the karmic justice card coming in, that means the universe is like, I saw that. Like whatever crappy stuff was done to these two, the universe is like, I saw that. I'm gonna fix this. And I almost feel like that's why we have these two individuals being nudged. Hey, you really should go for a walk somewhere in the countryside. You really should go someplace. If you have a yearning to go somewhere, there's probably a reason for that. There's a reason that you want to go there, and it's because the universe is like, this is how I'm helping them make things right. They deserve something better. They both got a crappy deal with somebody else previously. I want them to forget the crappy situation and meet somebody better. It just feels like, there is a karmic justice at play here. Now, the universe probably isn't too busy making sure that, romance necessarily flourishes, but there is the balancing of the universe, right? With the justice card, everything just like day and night, just like, heat and cold, there will be a balancing effect. Everything in us, the word homeostasis is constant change for permanent balance. Sometimes things get ucky and out of balance, but guess what? It does level back out again. And so we could just look at it in that context, not that the universe is sitting there being like, oh, I'm going to be a matchmaker. 5 of Cups. Yeah, we definitely, you notice how he holds the map? I definitely feel like he's like burned out, tired, fatigued, even disgruntled with wherever he's been. And he might have been some places quite hot and dry. I just say that because of the desert scenario behind him. Look, he may come from a place of a certain amount of luxury, wealth, confidence, comfort, but he's holding a map because he's real burned out right now wherever he is. And that might be where that nudge is coming from, where he's like, you know what? I'm a little soul sick. I got played by somebody. I'm kind of disappointed in my surroundings, no matter how luxurious they are. I'd rather take a drive someplace. I'd rather go someplace different than where I'm at right now. We definitely see him feeling just kind of done right now, just kind of over. If somebody could see a pigeon, I know pigeons are everywhere, but specifically, I think they're really pretty birds. I really like pigeons. I know everybody says, oh, they're messy and this and that, but I don't know. I like pigeons as much as doves any day. But he may see a pigeon, maybe a dove, but I don't know. Again, that could just denote like where he's currently at. And it's like, I'm thinking carrier pigeons, like that's just a symbol of like, I'd like to go someplace else. Maybe this is the way the message comes in from the universe to him, like go someplace else, go to a different location, listen to what your heart is saying. You're burned out somewhere, go someplace calmer. Okay. But I feel like, I don't know if somebody's at a public pool and they're hearing, someone blow the whistle, like, hey, kids, walk, don't run, don't slip and fall. Because we do have that Knight of Swords, but it's like, as much as he wants to like drive too fast, run too fast, it's like, whoa. There are somebody's going to be driving through like, a corridor where there's the cones up. Be especially mindful of speed, where there's road workers and road construction and those, workmen's cones. It just says, whoa. You can go fast, but safe. You can go swift, but smooth. Otherwise, you're going to hit some obstacles. Don't let there be any obstacles. You're listening to the instinct. You're irritated over something. King, we know you want to go. That's awesome. You should follow your heart, go where you need to go, but do it safely. You can move swift, but you can also move, with care. That's really important. Those orange road worker signs are like really important right there. Because if you try to go too fast and you're getting a blur of irritation, or you get even too excited, sometimes that's how you slip and fall. And then guess what? You're not going to make it to your destination, or that's how you crash, or that's how you, make a mistake. So it says go the speed limit, but still move along. There isn't any rush. He's not going to miss out on the chance to meet. He's not going to miss out on the chance to meet. I was going to say the King of Cups, but we have a feminine on this king, which is interesting. It's the only card they did this in this deck. They decided to put one feminine on one king card. We have the Lovers. He will not miss out on this lover that could be right for him. We got the 7 of Swords, and he's lying to himself if he thinks that somehow if I'm listening to my heart and I already know which direction I go, now I must have to hurry, hurry, hurry. It's like, no, you don't have to hurry. In fact, the slower you go, the more slower but more confidently that you follow your instincts, the more you're going to get like more real with yourself. You notice how masks are coming off. You notice how there's like a sincerity starting to shine through. Look, if the truth of it is he's been disgruntled, he's been maybe heartbroken, he's been ill-used by lovers in the past, and he's just kind of a little soul sick over it. But it almost feels like he's a little soul sick with whatever his whole pattern of life has been. Even if it's grand, even if it's very wealthy, there's something that he's missing. And in this case, it's like, be honest with yourself. What you're missing is an actual lover. And we're talking about love here. We're talking about some, true close companionship, somebody that you would choose and who would choose you. If that's somebody who would choose him maybe for who he is too, not necessarily his wealth or something along those lines. He may be quite wealthy. And it's like, yeah, but who is he as a person? Like that's what you would want a partner to want you for. So I don't know. I just feel like if he's going to have to be able to be really like real and sincere also. And if every mile that he travels, because I do feel like he's road tripping. I feel like he's going someplace different than where he is. He has this map. You only need a map if you're the driver, right? I guess if you're, co-pilot, but for the most part, you're the navigator if you're holding a map, right? So this is him taking a road trip seemingly by himself. If you're taking a bus, you're not the bus driver, you don't need the map. If you're flying on a plane, you don't need the map. Somebody else will do all that for you. So I almost feel like he's very much in control of listening to his heart that says, go. Also, the speed limit thing, again, you only need to know that if you're the one whose foot is on the gas. So I'm going to say it's very much nudging him, no matter how wealthy he is, no matter maybe he could charter, whatever private limo to take him wherever he wants. It's not what this is about. He has to do something that's just right for himself in this story. And that too will get more authentic for him. If he's going where he wants to go on his own, motivation, and he's being more authentic, where it's like, look, not even I can explain it to myself. I'm just listening to my heart right now. And it says, go someplace where it's like, I don't know, someplace where there's some really lovely trees here. This looks like one of the real old oaks to me, which, I mean, that could be almost anywhere. But this is him going. So can we see anything about that King of Cups that came across as a feminine? Tell me about and that's somebody else whose heart is like on fire, right? Ace of Pentacles and the Sun. Well, this King of Pentacles person seems to be, first off, even though, excuse me, did I say that right? King of Cups. I think I said Pentacles because I'm looking at the Ace of Pentacles here. King of Cups, like potentially feminine here. Could certainly be a water sign, right? But now we also bring in some Leo. I never care so much about zodiac signs as I care about why they're showing up that way. It denotes somebody that is like more of a dreamer, possibly because of Piscean energy that could be built into this. Someone who could have a lot of like, obviously emotions, since that's all about the water signs. Somebody who could have combination of like a little bit of a sexy, sultry but sting with a little touch of Scorpio coming in, and somebody who could be like, sometimes they retreat into themselves with some Cancerian. So they could be an emotional blend of, well, everyone's an emotional blend of all the extremes of emotions, but still they seem to be in a really good place. Whomever this, even with these arms wide open, I would agree that this character is very loving, very open. They're in a state of change and flux in their own life. They're ready for new beginnings. They're really happy. So it almost feels like they could be going somewhere new themselves. Maybe they're just with a new beginning here. This could be somebody who just started a new job. This could be somebody who's new to this area that he's going to serendipitously be traveling to. This could be someone who is, I don't know, with the sunshine. This is somebody who probably likes to be outdoors a little bit. I always do look at this as like a microphone over here too. So I don't know if this character does like karaoke at night or something also. But there's something here where they are liking their life. We have the 5 of Coins sideways. Okay, so we're definitely calling our character a she. The King of Cups is coming across as a feminine. This card was sideways, so they know what it feels like to be in the wrong like avenue of life. Something is not clicking, it's not working. They know how it feels to be kind of out in the cold or to be at the wrong career path. Obviously, that's one of the things that's changing for them, because we have all this happiness and new beginnings, but they know what it feels like to be a fish out of water, to be somebody that doesn't fit into the own family they were born into, or they don't fit in the career path that they're in, or they've, decided to quit a job and go someplace else because it's like, I do not resonate with any of these people. Or I know what it feels like to kind of be like a ghost walking through this world, and people don't even necessarily notice that I'm here because maybe I'm living in the wrong city and this is just not right for me. It feels like, interestingly enough, I feel like this character has had a life before where she could have lived in an area, never put down a single root, never made big connections or relationships that made her feel like, oh, this is a place I'll have lasting memories in, or this is a place where I feel like it's a home, or that I would come back here again. I think she's been places before where it's like, boy, every day it's just kind of like, I'm not sure anybody knows I'm here kind of vibe. So just a side note, just an interesting side note, because she's actually very loving and very emotional. And it's so kind of interesting to see that she's also walked like a ghost before. Seven of Wands is in the reverse, but it's like, I think she's finding where she's supposed to be, or that's how she feels about this. If she is going somewhere, if she is moving somewhere, if she's changing jobs, if she is, whatever the new beginning is for her, it's like, it's all falling into place. It's like, I have no blockages. That's how I know I'm making the right moves. So she's in a very similar energy to him, which would make sense, because with that Justice card here, by the way, coincidentally, maybe they both got screwed over by Libras in the past. Sorry, that's just a weird side note, but maybe they each had a Libra that was like the person that wasn't a good match for them. And maybe that contributed to each one of them feeling kind of like a fish out of water. They each had a 5, right? He has the 5 of Cups. She had the 5 of Pentacles. You notice that they share some kind of like deficiency sensation in their lives. They've both known what it feels like to kind of be a little lost at loose ends. But now, as she's listening to her own instinct, it's like clicking into place. She's not finding obstacles. She's finding like a pathway forward. Everything seems to be like, whatever she's changing, even if it's little things or big things, it's all falling into place for her with no unexpected obstacles. That's always such a fun feeling, isn't it? When things just start to kind of click for us. Yeah, Temperance. That's what she's noticing. It's like, everything I'm doing brings me more peace. I feel better. I feel like things in my life are just settling in. They're settling out. Okay, very exciting. So wherever she's at seems to be like, emotionally, this is like a new happy mindset for her to be in. But is she also technically in some new location? Page of Coins. This again can be like new beginnings for her. So yes, I would say you see that she's kind of like, I think she's either going to be living in a valley. You notice how the coin, like, it's almost like X marks the spot, and it's between these two mountains. She's like in a valley. This is more like a sheltering mountain instead of an obstacle type of mountain. But I do want to point out that there's something here. This looks like the Rockies to me, but I guess it could be a lot of different mountain ranges. But there is something where it's like, I don't know if he has to drive over a mountain range or something, but that could be. I get the feeling her change is kind of dramatic, but quite easy. And then I feel like what he's doing is taking some kind of a drive, some kind of a trip, some kind of maybe he has to traverse a mountain range to get into the valley on the other side where he'll meet her. That's almost more what this is starting to feel like. Do they know of each other at all, or are they new to each other in this lifetime? Ooh, 10 of Swords. Both of them represent one another's, like, breaking free from past things. I don't know that I would say these two have known each other at all in this lifetime. I almost feel like these two have been in, I just had this image of like, it's so weird, but like, you know how sometimes there will be like, you can put something inside of like a balloon and then blow it up, and then you can see something that's inside the balloon. I'm picturing two people that have been in their own separate like balloons, like two separate worlds, and we're popping both the balloons so now these two can interact. Up until now, they've been like suspended in these two separate but nearby worlds, and they're both like, this is, the bubbles are being burst in a good way for both of them. That Ten of Swords says they could never have met if they weren't truly like at an ending of a cycle. Each one of them has an ending of a cycle, and obviously a beginning of new cycles. We've seen that all over through this. It's also interesting that we have them both in King's energy, meaning they're both very much like taking action in their own life. Yeah, and they're both really unafraid of cutting ties. That Ten of Swords to the Devil says, I cut ties with anything that was toxic. I don't care about exes anymore. It doesn't stress me out to think about an ex. I don't care if my ex was still caught up with someone else because they were still married to somebody for money. I don't care anymore. I don't worry about what they're doing. I'm free of, my brain is free of the thoughts of like, if only my ex would break it off with somebody else and then come be with me. They don't care anymore. There's also, if there was money that was ever puppeting either one of them, it's also like, I just don't care. Money is not what's going to be motivating for me or keeping me in any particular place. So both of them have cut themselves free of stresses. They're both in a place of greater, well, we see the yin yang in the mindset, right? Much greater place of harmony and peace. That's so good to see for these characters. We have a Queen of Cups. We have the Fool. Big jumps forward, and now we do have a matched pair, right? He, the King of Wands, seems to be taking some kind of a trip, and we literally see him arriving, and here we go again with the mountain scene. Here we go again with, I'm ready to take that leap of faith. I'm traveling to where I feel like I should go. I'm listening to my instinct. He may see a rainbow somewhere, on this keep feeling like it's a road trip somewhere. But it's so interesting because it's driving him or pulling him. And now we see the river, and now we see the ocean. So we know that he's going to the direction that he was supposed to end up, right? Because all of our rivers on Earth end up in the sea. They have to. That's just the way the cycle goes. So I feel like he's actually ending up right where he's supposed to be. But he goes from King of Wands, and we know he's headed toward that King of Cups. It was a feminine, but now we also have the Queen of Cups. So I don't know if along this path, he's like evolving and relaxing and becoming like more comfortable in his feminine energy in order to match with the feminine that is also standing in her masculine energy. As always, I never care about genders in my stories, but I think that there's much to be said for like when characters really get into harmony with themselves is where they're comfortable in their yin yang, which is exactly the symbol that we saw on the Devil card. And then of course we have the Temperance, which is again, balance, inner balance, harmony within, our masculine and feminine energies that exist within all of us, right? When they find that kind of balance, no wonder it's like they're doing it for themselves first by listening to their own intuition and allowing themselves to step into kind of their truest, most comfortable energy flow. But that's also how they end up gravitating toward each other. So very nice energy for these two. I don't know if he's, distinctly feel like he's going to where she is. But it's interesting how it starts out with him taking the action, and then along this path or this drive that he's taking, it's, by the way, he may arrive on a day that has a 0 in it. So like the 10th, the 20th, the 30th, something like that. I don't know why that 0 for the Fool is just really standing out to me. But I feel like this is something about a quarter too. I don't know what the quarter is. Sorry, that's just in my head. I'm picturing like a quarter. We have the Hanged Man. So interesting that I feel like he will arrive at just the right time, even though he may pause a couple of times on this trip and say, what the hell am I doing? I don't know why I'm doing this, but I think it's like then asking himself, but does it somehow feel better to like listen to my instinct? Perhaps, yes. I don't know. It just feels like considering what makes me do this. He may have a tattoo on one shoulder, upper arm, death and rebirth. So there is like a transition or something happening to him as he travels. Her transition's already kind of happened, right? Because we already saw that new beginning for her. We saw it with that Page of Pentacles. We saw it with the Ace of Pentacles. But for him, it's on this trip that he's taking where he's listening more to his instinct. And I don't even know if it's so much like paying attention to a map as much as it is listening to his heart space. But it's like as he takes this journey forward, even though he pauses along the way a time or two, I think it's because he's transforming like every mile that he travels or something. He may stop and, see a really beautiful lookout point, especially if he's crossing different terrain. It's always impressive when we, anybody's taken like a trip across the US or a trip, anywhere. I've traveled quite a bit, across a couple different countries in Europe. And, I always drove because I wanted to be able to see things and, get lost and figure out what I would find. Even if I had some ideas of where I wanted to go, I still always chose to drive myself and not do tours because I didn't want other people to show me stuff so much as I wanted to just get the experience myself. And I feel like it gives you a certain amount of freedom to see things that you otherwise might not have found, or certainly find different things than what the brochures would show you, right? So I don't know, this just feels like he's not using a brochure. He's listening more to heart and figuring out where he feels like he should be stopping and pondering. And I think that's an important component. It's like a growth, like allowing for growth within himself, not forcing himself to go too fast from point A to point B, but just letting himself pause where he needs to, maybe have epiphanies here and there. Definitely some great lookout point somewhere on this road that he's traveling. But those are important moments for him. And it's because this is his transformation. I think by the time he arrives wherever she is, he will be a very different, we'll say man, but of course he could be a woman as well. But very different person. We see, I don't know if he has like a spiritual moment. We see somebody kind of in prayer, but then we also have somebody in medical scrubs, and it's almost like maybe he had to heal something, or maybe he had to allow, his connection to whatever the divine energy is to like let that in to help him heal. Definitely there was something about a very big heartbreak over the loss of a connection though, but maybe he didn't realize how much he needed to heal from that loss. I don't know. It just feels like he is being like reborn on this drive. And if he didn't take this trip or this drive for himself, I don't know that he would be able to go through this big transformation. This was like all so instinctual for him to follow this. Really nice. Oh, Aries, love that. That's such a great point. Yeah, a quarter moon. Thank you for adding that in. Yeah, I didn't know what the quarter meant, why I was suddenly seeing a quarter in my mind. We've got 3 of Cups. He's definitely meeting her someplace in the valley, right? Again, we have the mountains. This could be someplace that is, really great for growing, grapes, and maybe it's wine country. There's a lot of places that are great for growing grapes. That definitely gives us different regions. Obviously Europe has many lovely places to grow grapes and make wine. This could also though be like fields of flowers behind them, and anything is agricultural. Let's just leave it at that. Let's not say that it has to be wine. But you notice how this, whatever his trip is, could take quite a while because we're at the end of August, but this is my September, October timeline here. We've got gourds. So I always look at that as around September, October, definitely shifting into, the fall. That's really lovely because it's coming right up. And I could see if he's going through kind of a major transformation, I could see it taking a little bit of time. I don't see this as like a 1 hour drive for him. I see this as like metaphorically speaking, this is the drive of a lifetime. This is where he's changing his life and kind of like being rebirthed on this drive that he's on. So it would make sense that, even if he starts it in August, he may not arrive until September or something. Or maybe this just, denotes like the next chapter of his life. It's time for a harvest. Springtime, we plant stuff in our life, right? That's like our 20s, maybe, where we're like really starting to take hold of our life, and we start to plant some seeds of, kind of who we think we are. And then in our 30s and into our 40s, sometimes that's like summertime where we're just working, busting our buns, working really, really hard, having lots of adventures still. And then maybe once we really get to know ourselves a little bit better, we've been tried and tested, we've been brokenhearted and had to heal, and we get into the like late 40s, 50s, 60s, we start to get into our harvest phase. And then, we get to like cuddle up and enjoy our all of the fruits of our labor as we go into, our golden years, into our winter phase. I don't know. This is what it's making me think of, is like the season of life is like the season where we get to like really feel more comfortable in our own skin for this character and her. Like they're coming into the comfort zone of like, hey, I'm going to harvest everything I've been working on, which was to develop myself. It's interesting how he's being reborn as like, to me that fits very well, because I always feel like each season it kind of feels like it brings something totally different into our lives. But very nice energy for him. I love the like everything is possible in this next chapter, but I almost feel like he wasn't supposed to meet her until now, and vice versa. This is the right phase of their life. They're both, kings, queens type of energy. They've both set some things karmically right, with that justice card being there. And it's like, it's only just now time for them to meet in this lifetime, even though they're soulmates. They had to go do other lessons previously with even other people, but it's nice that they're coming into, I'm going to say, maybe the best love story of their lives now that they're finally at that point. I got to get the other lessons out of the way first before the good stuff comes. So I kind of feel like this is a wonderful, romantic and passionate chapter of their life. Doesn't mean they didn't have passion before, but I think this is going to be way more meaningful. So, all right, you guys, it's really good to see everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Pocket full of sunshine. SLH. Hi, honey. RS love. Thank you again, love. Miss Coconut. Yeah, it's good to be back. I had a really nice time seeing my family, my sis and my niece. I had missed out. I got really sick during my niece's graduation, and so I missed it. But I was able to recreate that for her when she came to visit with my sis. And so that was just really great to get a chance to spend time with them. That came in to see me from out of town. So it was just really nice. And then the week before that, my mom was with me for 7 days. So the people that I'm close to, that pretty much summarizes the only people in my family that like me I've seen now. So I felt really lucky. So all of my visits are done now. Robin G, hey. Oh, how nice. You're outside on this gorgeous night. I love that. I feel like I'm sitting outside with you. Feeling my soul. Great to see you. Hey, Chris. Crystal Suzanne, wonderful to see you. Ginger Montague, family account. Hey, Travis. Oh, I love that. You're making soundtracks at night. Very nice. Smash Stewart. Music, not karaoke. All right. I've never done karaoke myself. I sing anyway. I don't have a nice voice or anything, but I just don't care. If there's a song on or just a song in my head, I sing all the time. But I was kind of raised in a family where it didn't matter. Like we can all kind of carry a tune, but we don't really have nice voices in my family. We're not singers. But it was never anything that we were like, I think we were always around music, and none of us have musical talent at all in my family, but we love music. But I've never like felt like I needed to hold a mic to sing karaoke, because I'm like, oh no, I'll sing in the store. I don't care. But yeah, I totally understand. Not everybody's into karaoke. I think it's great. I think it's fun. I just have never done it myself. Tina's just passing time. Slave Princess. AJ, thank you, hun. Yeah, my sissy went home last night. Wonder T, hi. Muds Maliki, how are you? You guys are so sweet. I missed it too. I really do. Anytime that I'm away for a little bit, it always feels like, something's missing here. So, oh, Phil, pigeons are smart, aren't they? Anisha Chatu, wonderful to see you. Hi, Nick. April Fresh. 7, hi. Erica. Louise. Persephone Descending. Thank you for being here, babe. Ruse like Violet is the end of Leo season, so the end of Violet's month birthday. I'm sorry, Violet. But I hope that you celebrated every single day by doing something special. Rory 42, thank you again, sweetheart. So generous of you. Fallen Raven. Am I Feel? 1CC11, Sparkle 11, Carolyn Dean, Carrie Reed, hi hun, hi Lindsay, Myra J, Zoe's in the house, Angelica, Rach Delaney, Monique B, Smarter Child, Courtney Walsh, hi hun, and Nora, you were first in the house, which means, of course, so was Violet. All right, you guys. Oh, the announcement I wanted to make is my birthday comes up at the end of the month, but on the 30th, but I wanted to go ahead and celebrate. So on Monday, I'm going to be going live on both channels. I'll be doing this in the members corner separately, but then also just in general on both channels. I will be going live and doing card pulls for subscribers as well as members. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that we'll be doing that on Monday. Okay. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you guys. RS Love, you're so kind. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bounce on out of here, and I will see you guys. I got to go check up on Aries because he just popped in. Aries, I will tell you this, like, visiting with family is so wonderful, you know, but of course your whole schedule is different, and Aries is a dog who likes schedule, and he has kind of like times that he expects to have nap time. Well, Aries has not had nap time in a long time now, and he has been exhausted today. He has been down for the count for hours. It was so funny because he just, you know, if there's family visiting, and he loves my family, he cannot rest. He doesn't want to miss any of the party. And he gets particularly, like, any expression that I have, he mimics. So like, if I'm really happy to see my sis, oh man, Aries is, I can't hug her without he comes in for a group hug, you know? So he was just very, very, very excited because we had like just like the whole day together. And so he has been exhausted today, poor little guy. He's very social, and then kind of like me, he'd be social, and then it's like, okay, whew, gotta catch my breath too. So anyway, you guys, nice to see everybody. But I will be back as soon as I take him out for a minute, and then we'll go over to Tarot Dog tonight. Starting tomorrow is when we'll get back to all of our zodiacs. So nice to see you guys. Come see, hi. All right, you guys, I'll see you again soon. Bye for right now. I'm coming, babes.